What if every day was a training ground? A training ground for your mind, your character, your inner peace. Stoicism isn't some dusty philosophy. It's not a set of ideas you memorize in books. It's a daily discipline, a way to live with clarity, control, and calm, especially when life feels like chaos. Ryan Holiday gets this. He doesn't just study Stoicism, he lives it. And today, you'll see exactly how you can start applying Stoic practice to your own life. Not next month, not when things slow down, today. In a world that moves too fast, where distractions scream for your attention, where you're pulled by endless demands and expectations, the thing you lose, often without noticing, is your inner stability. We react, we scroll, we rush, but we rarely build anything solid on the inside. Stoicism offers a different path, a way to think clearly, act intentionally, and live with strength, not by escaping the world, but by learning how to meet it calmly and powerfully. Ryan Holiday isn't a Roman philosopher. He's a modern-day author, entrepreneur, and best-selling writer of the Daily Stoic, Stillness is the Key, and Ego is the Enemy. And yet, his life is built on a foundation that's over 2,000 years old, Stoicism. Every morning, he reads a Stoic quote, he journals, he resets his focus. A simple routine, but one that grounds him. It helps him create, lead, and make decisions without being consumed by noise or emotion. In this masterclass, you'll discover how to practice Stoicism daily in a way that's simple and real. The 3 daily habits Ryan Holiday follows without fail. Quotes and lessons from Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and Epictetus brought into the modern world. And how to build your own inner fortress, a mind that stays strong even when life feels unstable. If this message speaks to you, if you're tired of all the noise and ready to find depth again, then subscribe to this channel. It's free, but each video here is a true masterclass in modern wisdom. Turn on the bell because what we're building isn't just motivation, it's a way of life. Let's begin with a simple question. What if Stoicism wasn't something to understand, but something to live? Part 1. Stoicism isn't a theory, it's a practice. Quote, Stoicism isn't about reading Marcus Aurelius, it's about living like him. Ryan Holiday. Imagine an athlete who reads books about running, but never runs. Or a musician who studies sheet music, but never touches an instrument. That's how most people treat philosophy. They scroll through quotes, they like Stoic posts on Instagram, they nod along to wise words from Seneca or Marcus. But when life hits them, they react just like everyone else. No anchor, no clarity, no action. That's where Ryan Holiday draws the line. He doesn't study Stoicism to sound smart. He practices it daily, like an athlete trains, like a monk returns to prayer. And that's the real value of the Daily Stoic, a daily workout for your mind and character, not a theory, a discipline. 1. Stoicism is a field manual. Stoicism wasn't born in classrooms. It was forged in real life, in courts, in battlefields, in exile, in illness. The original Stoics weren't philosophers in ivory towers. They were emperors, slaves, generals, advisors, people with real problems under real pressure. Think Marcus Aurelius writing in a war tent, Seneca facing exile and betrayal, Epictetus teaching philosophy while walking on a broken leg. Want to see who they really were? I've made full videos on each of them, not as distant statues, but as real grounded men. Links in the description. Check them out after this video, and you'll never see their names the same way again. 2. The 3 disciplines of daily Stoicism, according to Ryan Holiday. For Ryan Holiday, Stoicism lives in 3 practical disciplines. They're not hard to understand, but they are hard to live by. Perception. See things clearly. Everything starts with how you perceive events. It's not the event that hurts you, it's the story you tell yourself about it. Quote, "It's not things that disturb us, but our judgments about them." End quote, from Epictetus. A harsh email? It's just pixels. A rejection? Just a moment in time. An insult? Just a sound. The Stoic challenge is to stay in control of your inner lens. Don't hand over your emotions to every little thing outside of you. Action. Do what needs to be done. Stoics are not spectators. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They do what's right, with virtue. Not impulsively, not for applause, but with courage, with wisdom, with discipline, with justice. Quote, "Just do the right thing. The rest doesn't matter." End quote, from Marcus Aurelius. That's how Ryan Holiday runs his life and business. He doesn't wait for motivation. He writes every day, he runs his bookshop, he does the work. Even when it's not exciting, even when it's uncomfortable. That's Stoicism in action. Will. Accept what you can't control. This is the toughest part. The Stoic knows you can't control the economy, or your boss, or the weather, or sickness, or death. But you can control your response. You can choose resilience, you can choose dignity, you can choose your inner peace even when everything else is out of place. Quote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." End quote, from Marcus Aurelius. That's the core of Stoic will, to bend but not break, to hold your ground when life gets stormy. 3. The Daily Stoic as a companion. Ryan Holiday understood one thing most people miss. Quote, "Repetition is clarity." End quote. That's why he wrote The Daily Stoic, not as a book you read once and forget, but as a daily compass, a short reminder every morning of how you want to live. One page, one idea, one moment of reflection. And, most importantly, one action. Each page is like a seed. You don't just read it, you plant it in your day. So if you want to try it, don't wait for New Year's. Start tomorrow. Open to any page, read it, and ask yourself, how can I live this out right now, in my life today? That's Stoicism, not memorizing quotes, living them. If you want to go deeper, beyond Ryan Holiday, go straight to the roots. I've made full videos on Marcus Aurelius, mastering pain to build unstoppable inner resilience. Seneca, mastering self-discipline to unlock true freedom and inner power. And Epictetus, for building unshakable inner strength. You'll find links in the description. Watch them next, and they'll change how you see yourself. Your turn. Reflect and practice. Now let's bring this home. What's one situation where you wished you'd responded like a Stoic? An argument, a failure, a moment of pressure? Write it in the comments. Not to vent, but to notice. That's where practice begins, with awareness. Part 2. How to build a Stoic daily routine. Ryan Holiday's model. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. James Clear. Reading about Stoicism once won't change your life. Practicing it daily might. Stoicism is like physical training. It's not about intensity, it's about consistency. Ryan Holiday figured this out early. Real transformation doesn't come from a single aha moment. It comes from small, repeated decisions made every day with intention. That's the spirit behind the daily Stoic practice, a simple yet powerful routine to actually live Stoicism, not just admire it. 1. Morning routine. Start your day like a philosopher. Ryan Holiday starts his day early, before the chaos, before the notifications, before the outside world has a chance to shape his internal one. Here's what his Stoic morning routine looks like in 4 simple steps. 1. Read 1 page of Stoic wisdom. Each morning, Ryan reads a short passage from Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, or Epictetus, sometimes via the Daily Stoic, sometimes from the original texts. It's not passive reading, it's a mental reset, a daily reminder. What might life throw at me today, and how do I want to respond? He doesn't look for something new, he looks for something true. 2. Stoic journaling. Right after reading, he writes just a few lines in a private journal, not for content, not for perfection, but to clarify his own thinking. Just like Marcus Aurelius did in Meditations, he wrote not to impress others, but to train himself. This practice helps Ryan observe his mind, set intentions, identify traps, ego, fear, distractions, prepare to respond, not react. 3. Silence before the noise. Before jumping into the world, Ryan takes a few minutes of silence. No app, no incense, no rules, just stillness. The ability to sit quietly with your own thoughts is a superpower. Ryan Holiday. It's not about doing more, it's about creating space to be more present. 4. Set a daily intention. Finally, Ryan picks a single sentence, not a task, but a principle. Examples. Today I will stay calm, even when provoked. Today I'll do the right thing, even if no one sees it. Today I won't complain. This is not a to-do list, it's a to-be list. 5. Evening routine. End the day with clarity. The evening is for reflection. Seneca. At night, Ryan Holiday doesn't just collapse into sleep. He takes 5 to 10 minutes to review the day, not to beat himself up, but to learn, to adjust, to grow. Here's what his evening practice looks like. 1. Daily review. Questions he reflects on. What did I do well today? Where did I fall short? Did I live according to my values? This is not about guilt, it's about honesty. 2. Name the mistakes. Ryan doesn't aim for perfection. He aims for awareness. I lost my patience during that call. I avoided a difficult conversation. I got distracted during important work. Naming it is the first step to changing it. 3. Quiet gratitude. Even on a tough day, Ryan notes 1 or 2 good things. A real conversation, a small improvement, a moment of peace. Why? Because gratitude is clarity. It reminds you not everything is broken. 3. Stoic journaling, your daily mirror. You don't need to be a writer. You just need 5 minutes in the morning, 5 at night. Here are some simple but powerful Stoic prompts. Morning prompts. What can I control today? What's likely to distract or tempt me? How can I act with courage, wisdom, or justice today? Evening prompts. Did I live as the person I want to be? What emotion controlled me today and why? What did I learn? You don't need paragraphs, just a few honest lines. But if you do it consistently, you'll start to know yourself and change. 4. Start simple. A 5-minute Stoic routine for beginners. Want to start but feel overwhelmed? Here's a minimalist version of Ryan Holiday's routine you can try starting tomorrow. Morning. Read 1 Stoic quote from the Daily Stoic or from anywhere. Write 1 sentence of intention for the day. Evening. Ask yourself 1 question. Example, did I stay calm today? Write down 1 thing to improve tomorrow. That's it. Simple, doable, transformative. Try this tomorrow and let me know what you noticed. Because in the end, a book doesn't change your life. A daily practice does. Part 3. Applying Stoicism to modern life. Stoicism wasn't made for libraries. It was made for the battlefield of life. Ryan Holiday. Stoicism was never meant to stay in books. It was, and still is, a survival strategy. In a world of anxiety, distraction, and constant pressure, the ideas of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus aren't just relevant, they're essential. Let's see how these timeless principles help us handle very modern challenges. 1. Anger. Don't react, respond. Anger, if not controlled, is more damaging than the thing that caused it. Seneca. Ryan Holiday says it all the time. Emotions aren't the problem. How you act on them is. When someone cuts you off in traffic, when a colleague provokes you, when a troll attacks you online, yes, you feel something. But Stoicism teaches you don't have to act on it. A simple Stoic technique. Pause. Breathe. Don't respond immediately. Reframe. Ask, is this really a threat or just my ego reacting? Respond with philosophy. What would a wise person do in this moment? Ryan has a rule. Don't respond in emotion. Respond from your values. Next time anger rises, try that pause. Just 5 seconds. It might save you from 5 hours of regret. 2. Uncertainty. Control what you can. Let go of what you can't. Some things are up to us. Others are not. Epictetus. One of the most powerful Stoic ideas and one of the hardest to practice. When you're stressed about the future, nervous before a big event, paralyzed by fear of failure, ask yourself, what part of this is in my control? Ryan does this all the time. He can't control if a book becomes a bestseller, but he can control whether he shows up and writes every morning. You don't control the outcome. You only control the effort. Ryan Holiday. Try this right now. Draw 2 columns. Left, what you can control. Right, what you can't. Then what? Pour your energy only into the left. If you want to see how Epictetus lived out this in real chaos, check out my video on him. He was a master of inner freedom. 3. Failure. Turn the obstacle into the way. You didn't choose what happened to you, but how you respond, that's where your freedom lies. Marcus Aurelius. Failure happens, loss happens, and Stoicism doesn't promise to protect you from it, but it does offer a way through. Ryan Holiday's first book, Trust Me, I'm Lying, got tons of backlash. It was misunderstood, criticized. Instead of reacting, he reflected, he learned, he adapted. That experience, it became the fuel for ego is the enemy. The obstacle is the way. The obstacle becomes the way. A Stoic truth Ryan built his career on. Key idea, amor fati, love your fate. Not just accept it, embrace it, grow from it, own it. Failed recently? Lost something? Ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me? If this resonates, my video on Marcus Aurelius and adversity goes deeper, and it complements this point perfectly. 4. Frustration and desire. Want less, live better. Wealth isn't having many things, but needing fewer. Seneca. Frustration usually isn't about reality. It's about expectations. The phone didn't load fast enough. Someone didn't text back. You didn't get what you deserved. The Stoic approach, stop needing everything to go your way. Ryan Holiday reminds us, a Stoic isn't someone without ambition. It's someone who's not a slave to their ambition. Try this simple challenge today. Say no to one small desire. Don't open Instagram. Don't check that notification. Don't argue to win the conversation. Not because you have to, but because you can. And if you're curious how Seneca lived with fewer desires and more peace, check my video on him. Your turn. Pause. Take 10 seconds and ask yourself, What challenge in my life right now needs a Stoic response? A recent argument? A fear you keep avoiding? A goal that's making you anxious? Drop it in the comments, then add, "Here's what I can control in this situation." It's a simple practice, but done honestly, it can change everything. Part 4. The Invisible Pillars: Stillness, Simplicity, and Self-Mastery. If you want to think differently, start living differently. Ryan Holiday. So far, we've talked about Stoic ideas, mindset, resilience, perspective. But real Stoicism isn't just about how you think, it's about how you live. And Ryan Holiday doesn't just write about philosophy, he's built a life that reflects it in the tiny, daily choices most people overlook. Call them what you want: habits, rituals, disciplines. But to him, they're non-negotiables. A life of simplicity by design. Ryan doesn't live in LA or New York. He lives on a ranch surrounded by books, trees, and quiet. That's not random. It's a philosophical choice. You can't think clearly if you're constantly distracted. Ryan Holiday. Even the ancient Stoics knew this. Seneca wrote most of his letters from the countryside. Epictetus taught in a small school far from Rome. Marcus Aurelius would steal moments of solitude, even as emperor. Ryan is doing the same, not to escape the world, but to see it more clearly. He slowed down his external world so he can speed up his internal clarity. Now ask yourself, are your surroundings helping your mind or hijacking it? Morning reading, fuel for the soul. Reading is the inhale, writing is the exhale. Ryan Holiday. Every morning, Ryan reads. Not notifications, not headlines, but philosophy. One page, one quote, one reminder. I start my day with the Stoics because I know I'll be tested later. The Stoics didn't read to collect facts. They read to remember who they wanted to be. What do you feed your mind before the world grabs your attention? If this resonates, check out my videos on Seneca or Epictetus. Both saw reading as a spiritual discipline. Voluntary solitude, a modern superpower. People look for retreats, into the mountains, by the sea, but the greatest retreat is into yourself. Marcus Aurelius. Most people fear being alone today. Silence makes them anxious, so they scroll, they binge, they fill every gap. The Stoics did the opposite. They sought out silence, not to escape life, but to hear it more clearly. Ryan Holiday takes a walk every day. No phone, no distractions, just movement, breath, and space. Stillness is the key, literally the title of his book and the summary of his lifestyle. Wisdom doesn't shout, it whispers in the quiet you create. Daily repetition, writing as a weapon. Ryan doesn't just think about philosophy, he writes it, lives it, trains it. Every morning he journals, one sentence, one idea, one intention. Not to impress, but to anchor. Every day is a chance to live philosophy, not just read it. That's Stoicism at its core, not a theory, a daily practice, invisible, unflashy, but powerful. A challenge for you. Start today. Here's a small but powerful ritual. Try it today. Turn off your phone for 1 hour. Find a quiet spot, grab a real book, a notebook, a pen. Read one page from Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, or Epictetus, then write one sentence, just one. A principle, a reminder, a thought you want to live out today. It might not seem like much, but do it daily and you'll notice your thoughts get clearer, your reactions get slower, your life gets lighter. Conclusion: becoming a Stoic one day at a time. No one is born a Stoic. You become one choice at a time, one moment at a time. Deep life lessons. What you've just explored isn't just about Ryan Holiday, the author. It's about Ryan Holiday, the Stoic, a man who doesn't just study philosophy, he lives it every day. And now, the real question is, what about you? You could close this video and move on with your life. Scroll, switch, forget. Or you could remember this. Philosophy isn't something you know, it's something you practice. It's a way of seeing the world, a path to clarity, strength, and inner freedom. Recap what you can take with you. Here are the key takeaways, not for your bookshelf, but for your life. Stoicism isn't for ancient philosophers in robes. It's for you. Here, now, in the noise and mess of modern life. Ryan Holiday doesn't read the Stoics to sound smart. He reads them to prepare for the day, with calm, with focus, with intention. A Stoic life is built through daily rituals, small but powerful. Read every day to remind yourself what truly matters. Write every morning to recenter your mind and set your tone. Observe your reactions instead of being ruled by them. Act on your values, even when no one's watching. Now ask yourself, what do you want to embody starting tomorrow morning? Not next month, not when life calms down. Tomorrow. Ryan didn't transform his life by reading 100 books. He changed by living one principle again and again until it became part of who he was. You don't need a full plan. You just need to start. 1. In the comments, write a single sentence, the phrase you want to live by tomorrow. Not for me, for you. To remind yourself when things get hard, to recenter when life gets loud. I choose not to react. It's not the event that upsets me, but my judgment of it. Today, I'll control what I can and let go of the rest. 2. In practice, cut out the noise. Read one page from Marcus Aurelius or Epictetus. Write your intention, breathe, and live it. 3. Keep exploring. If you want to go deeper, I've created full videos on Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus. You'll find them linked below or in the end screen. They'll help you think like a Stoic, and more importantly, act like one. 4. Support the message. If this video gave you clarity, insight, or direction, hit like. It helps this philosophy reach more people. Subscribe to catch the next masterclass. Tap the bell icon so you don't miss it. And share this video with someone who needs a moment of stillness, maybe now more than ever. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need a starting point. One phrase, one habit, one practice, and the courage to repeat it again and again. That's what modern Stoicism really is. Not a rigid doctrine, but a direction. Not a finish line, but a way of living. Thank you for being here. Thank you for thinking deeper, for seeking truth, for choosing not just to succeed, but to live with intention. See you soon here on Deep Life Lessons. Stay wise, stay grounded.